Welcome to the Car Guy Show. I'm your host, Tim Miller, and we're at Texas Motor Speedway for the 26th annual Lone Star Corvette Classic. This is an exciting weekend, starting off on Friday with the autocross, Saturday at the car show, and on Sunday, the big oval and road course. This is the place to be if you love Corvettes, because they're all here. Join us as we meet some of the owners and get on the track.
Luke Betchner here at the Lone Star Corvette Classic. I have John Radin in front of me. He is the officer of this year's event, but been a member for the past 6. Kind of tell us about what's going on for this weekend and what this entails.
Okay. This is our 26th annual Lone Star Classic. It's the 16th that we've held out here at the racetrack. It's a nice venue. We have a 3-day event. We do a Friday cruise dinner out to a venue outside of the hotel and track area. Saturday, the show is held here at the track. We bring anywhere from 250 to 500 cars, depending on the year and the weather. And then Sunday, we offer a track day on the track where participants can do oval laps on the oval track, NASCAR track, or they can do road course. This is one of the very unique venues in the country where somebody can come and actually drive on a NASCAR track during a car show. So it's kind of a unique venue for us.
Okay, yeah, I can't wait for that part. So I see old Corvettes here from every era, all the way up to the new stuff, the C7s and a lot of the new Z06s. So who's the vendors here this weekend range from what?
We have vendors, most of them are car related, as you would expect. T-shirts, we have the T-shirt vendors and some car vendors as well, and then parts, accessories. And then we have a guy here selling watches, and we have a Scentsy lady with scented candles. Yeah. So it's kind of a wide range. You get a whole group of people together, and it attracts some interesting vendors. But so it's a pretty good success for us. And we do have cars from all over the country. We have people from a couple guys from Virginia, Florida, Wisconsin, Iowa, Illinois, so we do attract from all over the country.
Awesome. Well, as he said, we're at Texas Motor Speedway, TMS. Such a cool venue. Not a lot of car shows are held at places as cool. We do have an infield. We do have a NASCAR oval. So let's go check the rest out. Okay, so we're here with Doug Feehan. This show is bringing all kinds of different people. Demographics are super diverse, and luckily he is here and we can cover more of the pro racing side of things. He's with Corvette Racing, and tell us kind of what you do for them.
Well, I'm the program manager for Corvette Racing, so it's very fortunate for me. I'm kind of the face forward of the program. We've got a lot of guys back at the shop, a lot of guys in the engine department there at GM Powertrain, guys at Pratt Miller Engineering who actually campaign the car for us. And anytime I get an opportunity to come out and mix it up with our fans, why it's something that I really enjoy doing. And we've tried to establish Corvette Racing as a fan-friendly organization, and knowing that all Corvette owners are part of the Corvette Racing program.
Right, and obviously Corvette has a huge racing history, and even now you see their name on many different sanctioned bodies and whatnot. And so you cover more of the what used to be LMS, but you're on with their sports car team, correct?
That is correct. Now the Tudor Series with United Sports Car. And interestingly enough, right here at Texas Motor Speedway, the 15th anniversary of the first victory for the modern-day Corvette GT back in 2001 with Ron Fellows and Andy Pilgrim. So It's kind of a special point in time for me, special point in time for the team, and obviously this event today is well-timed for us.
Right. Yeah, those were great days. Amazing drivers back then. And I know I was just talking to you a little bit ago. You guys are gearing up for France. The 24 hours is happening. And so, what do you got? Is it going to be a good fight again this year?
Well, I was just back in Detroit yesterday afternoon, and we were loading the cars on the pallets. And they'll fly over to England this weekend. And then we'll truck them into France. Leave a week from Sunday to head on over there, make sure the infrastructure's good. Anybody who's watched the last few years at Le Mans know that it's an absolute dogfight. So all the troops will be there, and they owe us one from last year. We had that one pretty wrapped up and just had a very unusual circumstance take place. So we've won there 7 times. Number 8's out there, and we want to make this year the year we bring that home.
Well, Corvette's always been strong in road racing, and so wish you guys the best this year. So good to meet you. Glad you could come out to the show. It was a pleasure.
I wouldn't miss it. It's a great opportunity. You guys do a wonderful job here. This is one of the largest Corvette shows in the country, and I'm pleased and proud to be part of it.
Good deal. Thank you, Doug.
You bet.
We're here with Danny Reed, who owns this incredible Corvette that was previously owned by an astronaut. How awesome is that?
Yes, this car was owned by Alan Bean, the fourth man to walk on the moon.
And astronauts back then actually had a leasing program to lease these awesome Corvettes for very little money, right?
Yes, Ed Cole, president of General Motors, and Jim Rathman, that had a dealership in Melbourne, Florida, put together a lease program, and astronauts could get any General Motors car they wanted for $1 a year.
How you like them apples? I wish I could lease a car for $1 a year.
And then after that year, they would turn it back in, and the dealerships would sell them as astronaut cars. But most of the astronauts, they didn't make that much money and had families, so most of them took Chevelles or station wagons and for their families, and there were only about 7 astronauts that actually took Corvettes.
The smart ones.
Well, I don't know. They made their wives happy. But the Apollo 12 crew, they wanted matching Corvettes. They were naval pilots, and they wanted a special paint job, and it's supposed to look like a bird in flight or a plane in flight. And it was designed by a designer, Alex Tremulous. He designed the Tucker and a lot of the real rare old automobiles.
So this is still the original paint scheme that the astronauts had on this vehicle?
That's it. For Apollo 12, they had matching cars. The only difference is the emblem on the side. On this one, it has LMP for Lunar Module Pilot. The Commander had CDR on it for Commander, and Command Module Pilot had CMP for Command Module Pilot. Yeah.
Oh, very cool. So how did you run into this car, and how were you able to acquire it?
Well, I recognized the car from Life magazine. I had a December Life magazine of 1968, and Dolly Cole, the wife of Ed Cole, had taken pictures for the magazine. So when I saw it on the car lot, I recognized it, and I walked in. I said, "What's the story on the car?" And they said, "We don't know. We're just selling it on closed bid." So I kept my mouth shut.
They had no idea what it was.
No. And so I turned in a bid for $3,230, and I was contacted a couple of weeks later, and they said, "You didn't get it." So I went out and bought a race boat. A couple of weeks later, they said, "Oh, the first guy couldn't come up with the money. Do you still want it?" And I said, "Yeah, but I spent my money." So I begged the bank. I got the car, and I said, "What was the top bid?" And they said $13,000, and that's someone that knew what the car was. The bid right under mine was $3,200, and that was a wholesale value of a 1969 Corvette at that time.
Wow, lucky son of a gun.
Yeah, feel blessed.
What is this car worth today?
7 figures. Yeah.
Very nice.
The Robb Report did a story on it, and they said if it was sold at a space memorabilia auction, it'd be the highest priced piece of space memorabilia ever sold.
Well, you had a good eye for what you were buying.
I'll take luck over skill anytime.
Fair enough. I am with the non-Corvette Club of Oklahoma, my fellow Okies here. The non-Corvette Club, what does that mean?
It actually stands for Non-Club Club of Oklahoma. It is Corvette based. 6 of us who met on the internet 8 years ago during a cold spell in Oklahoma actually met at a Newcastle car show, a Sonic open cruise in, and from that it is snowballed into this club that we've had as many as 159 Corvettes cruise to Stillwater for lunch on a Sunday afternoon. 21 of us went to the Central Oklahoma Corvette Club, a real club's car show at Riverwind Casino, south of Norman, and we actually won the club participation award at that show. So we went back to a local watering hole in Norman and ordered drinks, and somebody said, "Well, why don't we put on a car show?" Well, we're getting ready to host our 8th car show at the second largest casino in the state of Oklahoma, the Grand Hotel and Resort, and we've raised over $120,000 in toys and cash for the Toys for Tots over the past 7 years, and we should blow through another $30,000 this in June.
This is our 4th year to win the club participation. We brought down 42 cars this time, or 41 cars actually this time. And like I said, is that one thing about it, then we take that money that we win at that, and we put it in our funds for the Toys for Tots. So we just kind of recycle that money back into our charity event.
I think it's great that the non-club won the award for the most club participation.
Exactly. Well, and you know, as I always tell people is that my car has introduced me to a lot of great people. It doesn't matter what you have, just come enjoy it and have fun.
Well said. Well, there you have it, the non-club club winning the most club participation at the Lone Star Classic. All right, we are here with a bona fide Corvette girl, Regina Dunn, and she's a part of the non-car club. How long have you been a non-member?
About a year. I'm the newbie, so I just got my car about a year ago.
Okay, and you've got the new Stingray.
The 14, yes.
Nice.
It is sweet.
What attracted you to this car?
Everything. I mean, what doesn't attract you about this car, right? It was love at first sight.
Have you taken it on track at all?
Just the oval yesterday, and then taking it on the track hopefully tomorrow.
First time out?
First time.
All right, how was the oval?
It was nice. Very nice.
How fast did you get it up to?
Well, there was too many cars, so I didn't really get to get on it.
Okay, fair enough. Can you tell me how fast you've gone on the street, just everyday driving?
Maybe about 125.
Okay, that's moving.
Yeah, and it was really quick, from about 80 to 125 in about a snap of a finger.
Now this has the 7-gear transmission in it, right?
Yes, and then so I've got the automatic, but it's got the manual paddle shift, and it's 460 horse, just stock. And
that's not too shabby.
It's all there.
How did you get involved with the non-car club?
Actually, just at a show, they come up and introduced me themselves to me, and then invited me to some of their other shows. And I'm all about the events and the shows. So that's how I got to meet them, and they were real welcoming. You know, being a female owner, driver. Sometimes it's kind of hard to break into the male clubs.
They seem like a nice group of guys.
They are. They're a great group, and there's no rules. I mean, that's great.
We're here with Bill Preston and his 57 Corvette, which is actually the 2nd generation body style that Corvette ever made. Tell me about your car.
It's a 57 Rochester fuel-injected 283 engine. This one, we put a Tremec 5-speed and a 308 rear screw in it, and it gets 23.8 miles to the gallon at 70 miles an hour down the highway. I've owned the car since 1969. I bought the car for $1,000 and had to pay it out because I didn't have any money. So this is the 3rd time that we've restored the car. Back in the 70s, they were fairly plentiful. They made 10,000 of these cars in 2 years. The 56 looks exactly like this car from the outside. The difference is that the 57 was available with the Rochester fuel injection, which was pretty innovative for its time. And it also was available with a 4-speed and a positive traction rear end. And that was all stuff that Zora Argus Duntov introduced to Chevrolet. That was all his doing. He did just a marvelous job with the car. And even in 1980, he was just still extremely gracious to everybody. He would stay and autograph things for you, do whatever.
So you bought the car for $1,000. What is it worth today?
Whatever you could get somebody to pay you for it. I don't know. It's probably north of $100,000, but I have no idea. You know, I'm not going to sell it anyway, so it doesn't matter.
Good deal. I don't blame you. Thank you, Bill, for sharing your beautiful car with us.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for asking.
Well, that's it for the 26th annual Lone Star Corvette Classic. And thanks to our buddies at Street Side Classic, for letting us crash under your tent. What did you think about the show this weekend?
It was awesome.
Awesome indeed. Now, don't forget to like us on Facebook, Twitter, and you can view all our episodes on YouTube.